Shalom to everybody. We want to thank Anita and to the Fowle family for sponsoring this Dvar Torah, the Rosh Hashana, and it's the Ilu Nishmat Club. Liz Zichrono Livracha passed away on Rosh Hashanah. May be Eilitz Yosher to the whole family, and may his neshama have an aliyah in Gan Eden. We all know that on Rosh Hashanah, the main theme that we're speaking about most of the time is that Hashem is Melech, that He's a supreme king. He's a king that is all powerful. He's a king by virtue of His creating the world. And He is also the embodiment of a king who is compassionate. This is actually hinted into in the words of the letters of the word Melech. The word Melech starts off with a mem. The next descending letter is a lamed in the alphabet, and the next descending letter is a chaf. So that spells Melech. In other words, as if to show and as if to say, to express the fact that Hashem, who is on high or is all over, but what He does is He goes from a point of being very high to distributing his kindness, his care, He's looking after the world. He goes down from level to level, as is expressed in the letters, a mem going down to a lamed, coming down to a chaf. Hashem is also, by virtue of Him having created the world, Hashem is also the judge of the world. He keeps the world sustained, and every single year, what He does is it's sort of a time in which he takes stocks of where the world is going. He's got a plan for the world, a plan for all of us, and He looks at the world to see how His plan is being realized. Because it's a day of judgment, it's very strange that we've got 2 days of judgment. We've got the first day of Rosh Hashana and the second day of Rosh Hashana. What are these 2 days of judgment about? Why are there 2 days of judgment? Why can't there be 1 day of judgment? And the Zohar says that the first day of judgment is a judgment which is harsh, very, very tough. And the second day of judgment is a judgment which is like weaker. The Mefarshim, the commentators on the Zohar and the Zohar itself, seem to hint that on the first day, the judgment is on our thoughts, and the second day, our ideology, what we think, and the second day, the judgment is on the actions. So that's why we need 2 days of judgment, one for the thought and one for the actions. I'd just like to elaborate, why do we need, again, the judgment also, which is a more difficult one, on the thoughts, on the day that we're coronating the king? Why do we need also a judgment on the thoughts? One of them, Mefarshim, explain as follows. Imagine that you've got a king, and you've got a king who's got like millions of subjects, versus a king who has only got like a couple of 100,000 subjects. The king who has got millions of subjects, he seems to be much more powerful and much more of a king than the one who's got only a couple of 100,000, and that's correct. But let's say now that the king who's got millions of subjects in quantity, they don't really like the king. They aren't really attached to the king. They're not really like very much dedicated. In their hearts of hearts, they sort of look at him. I mean, they accepted him as a rule, as a king, but they look at him more as some sort of a governor, more than like being committed to a king that they love. And on the other hand, the king who has got less subjects, but his citizens, his followers, his servants, they are totally dedicated to that king. So that's what happens on Rosh Hashana. On Rosh Hashana, we coronate the king. We really acknowledge that the world was created by Hashem. There is a plan for the world. The world's not Hefka. And we are marching slowly and steadily to what the prophets and what the Torah wanted the world to be. But then the question is, when we do this coronation, but deep down, what do we think of the king? what is the ideology about Torah, about mitzvot, about a relationship with Hashem? And that is something which is judged in order that the coronation should be genuine. So one's also now judged on one's thoughts. So that's why, and that's why it's such a hard and a harsh judgment, because who knows really what's going on? Who of us can really say that we are totally not only dedicated, but that we have the correct, the right, the noble ideology, outlook that there is in our commitment to Hashem? The second day is easier because when it comes to actions, okay, people can do. The motivation for what they're doing and how they're doing, that's something else. So therefore, it's a lesser level of like judgment. But that's why we need both. We need, number one, that the judgment should be one on our actions. What did we do for the kingdom of Hashem? How did we now promote? How did we advance all the values that Hashem wants in this world? But then beforehand, those values have to stem from something. They have to stem for a correct outlook, for a real ideological attachment to Hashem. That's the first day. So we wish you all a Shana Tova Metuka. It should be a good year and a happy year, a year in which a year of truth, a year in which the Jewish people are now going through a situation in which we are judged on these two ways. What is our ideology? What do we want from the Jewish state? How do we look at what Eretz Israel is? And then also that everything should be done. We should be also moral, ethical, Torah observant in all its facets. So, Shana Tova Matuka to everybody. Kol Tov.